Pakistani literature, she gave a very good topic of partition. So many Muslim novelists, Pakistani novelists, they have also written about partition. Indian writers are many, but in Pakistan there are very few writers. Somebody also took the name of Babsi Sidhwa. She writes history of Parsi people, but she has written one novel also on the theme of the partition. Ice Candy Man. You must have seen that movie also, in which Amir Khan played a role. Ice Candy Man. You must have heard the name of Salma Agha, Dil Ke Arma. Her husband, Mahmud Sifra, she has also written a novel on the theme of partition. So this we can have comparative study. What is the stand of the Pakistani writers and the Indian writers? About when I speak about partition, I don't know how many of you know how the nomenclature Pakistan was prepared. Do you know one of Pakistan? Pakistan, land of the pure. That P stands for Punjab, A for Afghan, K for Kashmir, S for Sindh, and TAN for Baluchistan. These 5 provinces. Pakistan, E remains silent, doesn't take any meaning. Punjab, Afghan, Kashmir, Sindh, and Baluchistan. This was the original demand. It was not a sudden demand. When in 1947 India became, all of a sudden Barrister Jinnah came, Liaquat Ali came, demanded for the partition of India, and so the partition was given. That was not the case. The demand of the partition was right from 1867, 1860. When one of the students from Aligarh University, lady students, she came here to take the prize. And this, for the first time, the demand from Pakistan was proclaimed in Aligarh University, Muslim University. They had said, now it has become impossible for the Hindus and the Muslims to live together and make progress. So the Muslims should have their own country, their own nation, based on this religion. And then this nomenclature came from it was a poet, Rahmat Ali, and he coined this nomenclature, Pakistan. And then Barrister Muhammad Ali Jinnah came here. But about Barrister Muhammad Ali Jinnah, there are a lot of misunderstandings. Barrister Muhammad Ali Jinnah was said to be the ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity. He was a disciple of G.K. Gokhale. He said, in one of his lectures, he had said, I am an Indian first and Muslim afterwards. But when the Muslims people challenged him, and in the 1937 elections, Muslim League was defeated by the Congress, at that time, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and all people, they considered Jinnah as a negligible force, a negligible man. And so Jinnah took the help of jihad. Islam is in danger. Now to save Islam, we must save ourselves. And then this demand was there. And in 1947, the country was partitioned. It is a very, very fatal incident. And when, how the writers, who were the writers to react to this first? Partition was the partition of Bengal. But how many writers from Bengal? There are some Bengali participants here. How many writers from Bengal, either in Bangla or in English, have written on the theme of the partition? Only few. Only one English novel was there, Red Hibiscus by Padmini Sen Gupta, on the partition of Bengal. Bengal was also partitioned, East Bengal and West Bengal, but that was neglected by the novelists, by the creative writers, and they concentrated only on the partition of the Punjab, West Punjab and East Punjab. That was the main locale of the partition. And here we have some Sikh writers, Muslim writers, then Hindu writers from Jat community. They wrote their novels and short stories on this most horrendous theme of the partition. What was the situation? It is said one of the 10 great tragedies in the history of the world. Partition tragedy is said to be one of the great 10 tragedies in the history of the world. Not in the history of India, but in the history of the world, in which lakhs of people were killed. Thousands of women were either raped, they were abducted. Even if you read the partition novels, you will come to know that the women were paraded naked in the streets of Lahore, Gujranwala, and so many, Narowar, and so many cities of Pakistan. A reaction of that came in India, and the same thing took place in Amritsar and some other cities of Punjab. And everything has been written in detail by all novelists. First novelist was Khushwant Singh, who wrote Train to Pakistan. But before Khushwant Singh, there was, in Sri Lanka we know, Sinhalese and these Tamilis. Sinhalese are in 90%, but they consider themselves Aryans. We are Aryans. But after they embraced Buddhism and they became Buddhists. So when we make a study of this South Asian literature and culture, we see there are various types of cultural activity in almost all these 6 or 7 countries. But when we come together under the logo of SARC, according to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, there must be this. When he said he had such attempts were made in 1922, even before Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, in the 1930s and 40s, they tried to bring the Asian countries together so that there should be a power group in the world to check the advances of America or Russia. But then that didn't realize, and then SARC came when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was not there. But the idea was that of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Non-alignment, disarmament, and so many things they were there. In the beginning, Pakistan was afraid of India's dominance because India is the biggest country, strongest country in all SAARC nations. So Pakistan was afraid of India. But India was not of that tendency, is not of that tendency. And so India tried to help all other 6 or 7 countries so that at least this SAARC group should live together, progress together, flourish together. That was the idea behind this South Asian Association of this regional cooperation. And these countries have produced these literatures as suggested by so many critics. So many paper readers and plenary sessions, that this topic gives you so many topics for your research, either MPhil or PhD. Well, by taking one novel from Pakistan and one novel from India, you cannot do PhD. You can do at the most MPhil. But for PhD also, you will get so many topics. You know, sir, this is India is Afghanistan, then Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India. See, if you see, it was said in the beginning Indian subcontinent, all this country. But nowadays they take objection to this, to consider it as Indian subcontinent. And so it is said Indic civilization or Indic area it was called in the beginning. Because India dominated all these things. All these 6 or 7 nations, they are below the Himalayas. And they form the part of this SAARC. And in this I think that the literature of these countries must be studied very carefully, Though different cultures are there, just like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru said, there is unity in diversity. Because we are all Indic people, living in Indic region. Impact of India is there. In past they were the part of. So these are about SARC. If you go to the website of SARC, you will come to know that the SARC Writers and Literature launched the first ever initiative for setting up of departments of comparative literature universities. With the help of this research into higher education and research society, we can request the universities, Pune universities, we will request our university, you request your universities to set up the departments of comparative literature in which the study of this literature of the SARC countries will be undertaken. It has been rising under the major universities and centers of academic excellence in establishing specialist centers, department or chairs of SARC literary studies, departments or even chairs. There are so many chairs in the universities nowadays. You can ask your Vice Chancellor. The representatives of HERSO'S had discussed with eminent writers, literary critics and academicians of various universities of the region to start all these things. And the first type of this department was set up in Tribhuvan University, Kathmandu. It was the first department, 2001. After that, not a single university has taken any initiative to start this SARC literature, this specialization of this South Asian literature and culture. They have their own foundation on culture also. SARC, they have their foundation on cultural studies, literary studies, cultural studies. If you go on this website, you will come to know everything. But what I think that the greatest outcome of this conference is that Indian writing is now there are no topics in Indian writing English. Almost all topics are exhausted, are finished. Now even guides and universities are also not ready to give any topic on Indian writing in English. Now instead of going for Indian writing in English, we can go for SARC literature. Instead of going to South African or African or Australian or Canadian, these countries are very close to us, educationally and culturally also. You will have to spend little time on this paid work because we are very close to each other, all these 6-7 countries. Culturally we are very close. Even linguistically we are very close. So this is the greatest outcome of this conference, I think, because the madam has given so many topics. She has made a very careful study about this SARC literature, and she has given so many topics. You can circulate those topics to the students also. So about this SARC Asian Literature and Culture Settlement Conference, now for the first conference itself, more than 300 plus participants have come. This is indeed a very great success. Now you have increased the confidence of this Nikam, Mr. and Mrs. And we hope even in future more and more effective and what they say, food giving to soul and brain conferences we expect from this Nikam family and their team. Once again, I congratulate my students, you participant delegates, for making this seminar, a conference, a grand success. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you.
Friends, don't you feel that it is some sort of experience that we are sitting in a plane and the air hostess is serving us fruits, and there is an announcement that after 15 minutes the aircraft is going to land. Please tighten your seat belts. So anyhow, once again it is Nikams who have translated it by saying that take care of minor things, major things can be care of. And so they have provided you such type of fruits to maintain your energy on your journey back home. Anyhow, it is actually we are at the culmination of the program, but as you try to put yourself in the organizer's shoes and think of the situation, that the two of the guests who are actually the educationalists of distinction, they are arriving very shortly and they will be there on the dais with us, and that they will be there and the program will be over within 15 minutes itself. Now I request the chairperson of this session, Mr. Dr. Nivrutti B. Pawar, Dean, Faculty of Arts, Solapur University, Solapur, to offer his presidential remarks. Dr. N. B. Pawar, sir. But as he is named after saint, I prefer to call him as a Nivrutti. On behalf of organizer, I welcome
Honorable Principal Dr. More sir, Dr. Katrina madam, and the organizers. And for this international seminar, in a short period of time, more than 300 participants attended, participated, and guided us. So it is the success and the relation of Dr. Sudhir Nikam and Dr. Madhavi Nikam. They have good relations. Actually, conferences, they are made successful because of the relations. If you go for the conferences which are organized by the other people, then the people will come for your conference. So it is a take and give policy. And that is why, so I congratulate on behalf of all of us, Dr. Sudhir Nikam and Dr. Madhavi Nikam, for making this international conference a grand success. As Dr. More sir has suggested, that there should be a separate paper for South Asian literature, and I on my level, in my university, will try to, that means I will try and I will make it that the South Asian literature paper will be there, and I request that here are some more people from Nanded University, Aurangabad University, from Shivaji University itself, and Nikam sir is from Mumbai. And we have organized the seminar in Pune. So, for organizing international seminar requires great efforts. Living and working in Mumbai and organizing seminar in Pune requires great faith in the friends. And then we all the participants have proved that Dr. Nikam's faith is again a true one. I hope that this South Asian literature will be used for solving the problems in our South Asian countries. As Dr. More has enlightened us, the situation before independence, and because of the partition, so many tragedies took place. And literature
should be used to bridge the gaps, to bridge the minds. So, as we are culturally, we are linguistically, we are one, and that is why whatever happened in the past.
There is a very special request to Madam Catriona, to felicitate in a true sense of the word the son of this soil, Mr. Balwardkar. He belongs to Balewadi. Ma'am, please be seated. Let me introduce him at first. It is exactly, if I don't fail, it is exactly 25 years back, in the year 1988, 1988 साली 25 वर्षापूर्वी, you laid the foundation of your trust. And this is the silver jubilee year of his trust. And under that trust, he is running various organizations, various colleges, and the trust is named after Sri Khanderaya Pratishthan. It is a charitable educational trust established by Honorable Sri Ganpatrao Balwardkar, who is a social entrepreneur, in June 1988. The genesis of the Pratishthan lies in the noble thoughts of the founder for providing educational opportunities, especially to girls of the erstwhile Balewadi village, who remain deprived of even